We chose Afeni Shakur and Jeremiah Hamilton because we wanted to show two influential Black leaders who were able to accumulate their wealth and be able to redistribute it back to their people with having to go through these problems and trials and obstacles within their way, and not even being born with the necessary resources they needed to even start from the bottom to reach the top so easily, compared to nowadays to, say, a white child in a white family who would be able to be born into a home, be able to go to an education, school, and not be influenced by the horrible things that these two leaders have to go through. Like, for instance, Afeni having to go through drug abuse and like 300-year life sentence just for being able to share her voice, or even with Hamilton having to be like taken out of his native home by white prospectors just for being Black and trying to reach the top like any other person.
I chose specifically, I think the most that impacted me was Afeni Shakur. I think the idea behind a strong Black woman leading and being a perfect example of what we should be in society, and being able to help others along while she was struggling. I mean, the fact that she went to trial and she presented for herself while being pregnant and not having the knowledge is just so powerful to me, to show like she did it. She did it by herself and with a group of people who they were struggling at the time and no one was helping them, and yet you see them doing perfectly fine and leading a great organization. It's just so powerful to see great humans doing something that we should already have in this world, which is equality.
I chose Afeni because I feel like in the media, Black women's representation isn't where I want it to be. I feel like Black women are often over-sexualized, and just the reputation that they have isn't what I like. So I think, for me personally, I like sharing information about Black women who are strong and powerful, and they use their platform to do good, for the Black community, and they just represent themselves well, and just a new way to look at Black women.
One thing that I really learned is that not a lot of people can decipher the name from the person. Usually when you hear, like, say Afeni, Shakur, Tupac, a lot of people just associate her being with her son's influence and known as a rapper. And in today's media, we know rappers to be these young thugs and having to go through drug abuse or alcohol, and just have these negative images and stereotypes surrounded by them. And through this whole project, we were able to see past that through our own research and create our own conclusions and see what these people wanted us to truly see, the future that they wanted to create for not only themselves but their people and us as a whole, and so along with the generations of future to come.
Something that kind of resonated with me is Shakur actually means thankful in Arabic. And to me, I'm so thankful that I get the knowledge and I'm educated about this topic. And I just feel like there's so much to teach people. People aren't as educated as us. And I feel like this project and the things that we do are to educate people and to teach them what should already be taught in school and in our environment. So learning and being thankful that we have the education we do, and also bringing some of this that we are learning right now and that I got to research that I didn't know of. I didn't know 3 of these people that I researched right before this. So if I didn't know, then I bet a ton of people didn't know either.
I've always liked Tupac, and so one day I was doing research on Tupac, listening to his music, and I was like, well, let me learn a little bit more about him. And then I came across Afeni, And I was like, this woman is just dope, and she just embodies everything that I like to see. You know, like that's who I want to be. So that's what made me research into her more. And then when we started doing the Our Voices project, I was just thinking, this is perfect for this.
Something that I learned is we should all try and learn more, because like, what's bigger than the power of education? And I feel like knowledge, it comes from wanting to learn and a desire to learn, and we should be learning about strong Black women and men who have made our history, and yet they're not talked about, which is crazy to me that they're not talked about when they have shaped and formed the United States.
Okay, what I've learned is that Black women, they are misrepresented. I learned that most likely when I'm learning about new powerful Black women, there's often a struggle, an extreme struggle that they have to go through to overcome whatever it is. And I just think that part, the way they overcome it and their pride and their elegance while doing it, is just something that I admire. And she's just another example, another woman who has shown me that we can really overcome anything.
You know, there's honestly nothing that can stop you from reaching your goal. It may seem like there will be, because like life isn't fair, and sadly we have things like race, gender, and our identity that are unique and beautiful things to us that happen to separate us in this world, that end up being the obstacles in our way. But if we're able to turn those things into our strengths, we can find beauty in the struggle and prosperity within ourselves.
They tell us that a change is gonna come, but I wonder when the change is gonna actually come. Yeah. Praying to the Lord, will it ever stop? So many lives lost to some crooked cops. We got 2 hands up, but we still shot. Then we ride in the streets and we looting shops. We tearing down our homes, even beauty shops. Glass plaster.